Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath. Right. So I can barely see the screen at the moment, but I'm assuming that it will come in a moment. There? Not yet? No? Oh, there we are. Okay, fine. So, how did a nuclear medicine doctor come into the dating of the Mahabharata? Right? What if I told you that there is a way to calculate the tithi and nakshatra of every single day of the Mahabharata war? Is it possible? Will you believe me? Is there even a possibility of that? So next slide. I mean, you guys can see that, but even if you can't see it, it is fine, right? Even if you can't see it, it's okay. Yeah, go to the next slide. Yeah, next. Yeah, so there is a, before I start with the astronomy, there is a particular crater which is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. This is approximately 29 kilometers wide, and it is due to a comet impact which it has been formed. You can see on that screen over there that it is in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and you can see that there is a straight line going up to Dwarka. And that, what we are saying, is the reason why Dwarka has sunk. And the date of that particular event, the Burkle crater we call it, is approximately between 2850 BC to 3150 BC or thereabouts. Okay, next slide. Right. The traditional idea is that Sri Krishna has left and Kali Yuga has started. Is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Okay. The Govardhan Mutt and other mathas, what they say is that Sri Krishna has done Stambhana of Kali Yuga. Because there is a verse, you can check it over there. This is from the Mahabharata, very authentic. What it says, Praptam Kali Yugam Vidhi Pratijñam Pandavasya cha. So, when Bhimsen hits Duryodhana on the thighs, that time Balram gets very agitated. And Sri Krishna comes and stops Balram and says, Praptam Kali Yugam Vidhi Pratijñam Pandavasya cha. Meaning that Kali Yuga has already arrived, and it has arrived to fulfill the oath of the Pandavas. So Kali Yuga is running at the time of the Mahabharata war. What does that mean? Next slide. So it means that those dates on the left side of your screen, 3137, 3138, 3139, 3140, 3143 BC, all those dates are gone. And actually the war is occurring Antare chaiva samprapte Kali Dwaparayor bhut Samantake Panchake yuddham Kuru Pandava senayoho. So meaning it is occurring just after Kali Yuga started, 3102 BC, just after that. So we have got a date of 3067 BC. Next slide. Right. Now I am going to show you the entire sequence from the mission of peace, which is by Sri Krishna. That mission of peace, he is starting on the Revati Nakshatra. Anybody over here know about nakshatras? Just raise your hands. One person, two people. Anybody else raising hands? Barely anybody. Okay. Anyway, nakshatras and tithis are how we calculate our birthdays. Nakshatras and tithis are how we still calculate the calendar in India. Okay. So Sri Krishna starts on a Revati Nakshatra basically, and then he will go 3 days later, he has to reach Hastinapura. When he reaches Hastinapura, which is on your slide over there, that must be Revati, Ashwini, Bharani. So it has to be Bharani Nakshatra or Kritika Nakshatra. That I am showing on the slide over there. Then what will happen? A few days later, he has to reach the courtroom in Hastinapur. Now, do you remember that Duryodhana says that he is going to imprison Krishna? Do you remember that? Remember it? Yes? Maybe? No? Nothing? Okay. You can make it interactive if you like, but I am going to continue over here. So, a few days later, there will be a Pushya Nakshatra. That Pushya Nakshatra is happening in Hastinapur. That is Duryodhana's Pushya, where he says that he wants war. He doesn't want peace. He goes ahead further from there. That is the first Pushya that is happening in Hastinapur. From there, Sri Krishna then goes and finds Karna a few days later. Why does he want to find Karna? Anybody? Because he wants to prevent the war. He wants to see if he can convert Karna over to his side, but he cannot. And over there, he says one verse, Saptamaccha Abhidivasat Amavasya Bhavishyati. So we know that point 7 days later is going to be an Amavasya. 15 days before that will be a Purnima. Okay? So we have got this second basically point, which is the Jyeshtha Nakshatra which is occurring, and there will be Amavasya over there. There is a solar eclipse given in the text. You can go ahead. Then what happens is that Sri Krishna basically has to go forward. Can we go forward? So Sri Krishna basically has to go further, but he has got to come back to Upaplavya. When he will come back to Upaplavya, after that, presentation. Thank you. So he has to come back to Upaplavya. When he comes back to Upaplavya, he will find that Balrama is over there. Why is this important? Because remember that Balrama has got to go for his pilgrimage. His pilgrimage is going to be 42 days. That pilgrimage has to start on a Pushya Nakshatra. So I am going to show you that there are these nakshatras which I am showing. At the top of your screen is the Pushya Nakshatra, which is altar in the zodiac. The bottom of the screen is Shravana Nakshatra, where Balrama must finish his pilgrimage or altar. Then there is the green, there is the Jyeshtha Nakshatra, okay? And then you have also got a blue Rohini Nakshatra where Saturn must come, right? So all these nakshatras I am showing you because otherwise this whole talk will seem like what am I talking about. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, that is Rohini Nakshatra where Saturn must be during the time of the war. Now, this is important. When was the last time Saturn was at Rohini? When was it? Anybody? 2001. In 2001 what happened? In September 2001 what happened? September 2001, Twin Towers. You remember that? That is Saturn at Rohini. 29 and a half years before that, what happened? 1971. That is the genocide in Bangladesh. Before that, 29 and a half years, what happened? World War II, right? That was also Saturn at Rohini Nakshatra, right? Okay, fine. So we know that was, Saturn at Rohini is not a good position for it to be in, and it was there like that during the time of the Mahabharata. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Right. So I am showing you over here the linear representation of how Sri Krishna is going from the mission of peace from one end, your left hand of the screen, he is going right to the other hand of the screen. And remember one thing, there are two Pushya Nakshatras I am showing over there. The first Pushya is Duryodhan's Pushya, where he declares that war is going to start. The second Pushya is the Pushya of Balarama, which is separated by 27 days. That Pushya is not happening at Hastinapur. The second Pushya is happening where? Where is it happening? That second Pushya is happening in a very different place. It is happening at Prabhas Kshetra near Dwarka, right? So there is a separation. What most of the competing people have done, what a lot of astronomers have done is they have confused the two Pushya Nakshatras. Okay, anyway, I am not going to bore you with this. Next slide. Okay, now there is a very curious verse which says, Chatvarinchad Dahanadya Dvecha Vai Vishtatasya Vai Pushyena Samprayatosmi Shravane Punaragataha. And basically, Sri Balarama is saying, I went on one Pushya Nakshatra, 42 days later I came back on a Shravana Nakshatra, and basically that is the point he has to come back. So that is the last day of the war. So can we have a consensus that last day of the war must be Shravana Nakshatra? Because he has to come back and see that Gada Yuddha, remember? Okay. So the first day of the war has to be Pushya, the first day of the pilgrimage has to be Pushya, last day of the pilgrimage has to be Shravana Nakshatra, 42 days are separated in the middle. Okay. Now, how do we, so we have got a nakshatra for the last day of the war. So back calculating, we'll get a nakshatra for the first day of the war. Nakshatra for the first day of the war is therefore Rohini or Mrigashira. In our case, it will be Mrigashira nakshatra. So now we have got a nakshatra for 18 days. Therefore, we can back calculate all 18 days of the war. Now, the question is, can we also check what is the tithi? So I am going to ask a question. I want a show of hands. And everybody must participate in this, okay? It's important. In Shukla Paksha, when does the moon rise? In the day or in the night? Show of hands. In Shukla Paksha, when does the moon rise? In day, people want to put up their hands. One person is putting up hand, two people are putting up hand for day. Anybody else? So every 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 people, okay. 10 people are putting up their hands. Everybody else is too scared or you're not listening? Okay, anyway, okay. The other part of this is, I'm going to ask the same question. In Shukla Paksha, does the moon rise in the night? Show of hands. One person is putting up hand. That, 2, 3, okay. Okay, let me tell you something now interesting. This is, if you go outside and check on any other day, you can check. Basically, you will find that in Shukla Paksha, the moon will rise in the day. And in Krishna Paksha, when does the moon rise then? Does it rise in the day or night? Krishna Paksha, the moon will rise in the night. So this is very important because if you don't have this information, you will not be able to decipher the further part of it. Okay, I'm going to ask one more question. Does the moon rise in the east or the west? Show of hands for east. Does the moon rise in the east? One hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay, anybody else? Moon rises in east or west? Arey Baba, sun rises in east, pata hai, but moon rises in east or west? Anybody? Okay, moon rises in east or west? Okay. Does moon rise in the west? Show of hands for moon rising in west. One person says moon rises in west. 2, 3, 4. My God, you really think so? Okay, moon cannot rise in west. Moon has to rise in the east just like the sun and it will set in the west. Okay?